and welcome to Add More Zest. My name's Rebecca, also known as 4Kids at 147. It is WIP and Waffle time. This is testament to how much diamond painting I have got done this week. It is still covered in cover paper. So this is my koala painting from Kaiser. This is my current project. I was hoping to have at least got some of him done by now, but it has been launch week. It's always busy the week before launch and the week after launch. Though the week before launch, it seems to be a lot of prep. The week after launch, of course, it's orders, but then it always takes 2 to 3 days to get the orders out. So I end up spending the evenings prepping so that my next day is a winning day. You know, even if it's just tidying up the mess I've made, I still end up doing what I'd say is quite a bit of prepping. So plus Megan has been off this last week, and we have got quite a few things, or a few things last week and this week. We've got a few things ticked off, a few more things ticked off for Advent and upcoming launches. So while Megan's SAPID, she's been on half term this last week, while I've only really had her for one day, we did get quite a bit achieved. We've got quite a few different things that we're working on, and I've been working on a lot in an evening or catching up on the house as well on an evening. I normally take Wednesday to do all house things because I work on a Saturday and or a Sunday doing YouTube videos, but it doesn't tend to happen. Sometimes it doesn't happen at all launch week, and sometimes it's just well, because Megan was available on Wednesday this week, it was like, nope, let's get this stuff sorted. So the house has had a bit of a lick and a promise, and I'm currently filming this on Saturday. I'm hoping to get all my videos done for the week today so that I can give the house a bit more attention tomorrow, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's very exciting things. As I say, we've been working on some new releases, as well as ticking off a few more Advent things, ordering samples in for some. But yeah, it's been a busy week, and I can imagine it being a busy few weeks yet. I am still using this month's launch tray. We only have a few of the bundles left. The bundles have normally been the first thing to sell out, so we did increase the amount of bundles this time, and this time it was actually the zesty trays that sold out first. So next time we'll probably go for a number in between bundles compared to separate trays, and hopefully find the nice happy medium for everybody. But there isn't many bundles left at all, or at least to say there isn't when I'm filming this. But yeah, it's been a good week, even if it has been a very busy week, and I get to diamond paint with you guys, so this will probably get me the bug back, and I may get some done on the evenings this week, or here's hoping. Even if we are on a pink kind of day today, there are a few different shades of pink in this. So I've just gone for the one on the bottom left, which actually seems to be the most used pink on this one. And we'll see how much I can sort of steam ahead with my koala, who I'm going to call Kenny, I think, by the way. I can't even remember in the kitting up video if I said the koala looked like a male or a female, but I did appreciate the name suggestions. Kenny was actually a name that came up the most, and it was the first name that I sort of of all the names that I read, that it was the name that just clicked and it just went yes. And then as it was suggested more and more, it just cemented that this is now Kenny the Koala. And I was hoping he'd be a fairly quick one, not because I don't want to do it, but because I have so many in my stash, and as you guys know, I want to get working through them, or at least getting my stash down to what I feel is a more reasonable level, because everybody has their own level of stash that they are happy with. And I'm trying to get mine to fit under my desk a little bit nicer. It fits, it does all fit. I'm not like bursting out of the room. I'm not back to putting more paintings on my wardrobe. But I would like it to tuck under the cabinet rather than sticking out from the cabinet a little bit. And how many diamond paintings are sticking out? 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 large diamond paintings are sticking out from under my desk. I can probably get away with 5 of those. There's probably only 5 that are really sticking out. It depends on where you draw that line. But I do have a couple more that will eventually sort of get added to that I haven't yet unboxed. So we'll see where it ends up being. Somebody did suggest, I can't remember whether it was on the actual kitting up of this video or whether it's a comment I've read on a WIP and Waffle. So apologies if it comes up again in conversation on either this WIP and Waffle or Thursday's WIP and Waffle, depending on if the comment was left on one of those. But somebody suggested or said that what they do is they do a decision wheel, and I may have actually discussed this. On a breakdown video that's coming up next week. So my brain is a little bit all over the place. It keeps getting pulled from launches to current stock to house to advent to this, that and the other. So there might be a bit of repeating myself this next couple of weeks until things calm down again and I feel a little bit more organised and in control. I think I may have discussed this in the Tiger breakdown video that is due up this next week. I just filmed the video a little bit early so that I could get the painting off to Grey Legrand. So apologies. But yeah, somebody did suggest they have an extra decision wheel, which I'm all for decision wheels. They're fun. Where the decision wheel, the first decision wheel they use chooses what type of painting they do. So for example, I could put in the decision wheel large round painting, small round painting, large square painting, small round painting, and that would go into the decision wheel, and the decision wheel would choose what type of painting, and then I would go into the corresponding wheel listing all my small square, large square, small round, large round to pick the painting. So I very much like that idea. Another idea is also having in either decision wheel or both to work on my oldest diamond painting. So I could have in my decision wheel for what type of painting, I could also have oldest. And if it chooses oldest, then I will have a look and see what is the oldest of all of my paintings. So all, doesn't matter what size, which is the one I've had in my stash the longest, and work on that. So if that got picked, I would only use one decision wheel. But then I could have oldest painting within the categories as well. So in with my large square, I could have my oldest large square. And that could be one that gets picked. A bit like I have a free square in each, which means I get to choose which one I work on. I could have one that just said oldest painting. And if the decision wheel chose that in my large squares, then I would just look to see what is the oldest large square I have in my stash. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. I love getting the decision wheel to make decisions for me, because I have enough decisions to make in my life that having the decision wheel make these ones for me makes it also fun as well. Because there are, as you will have known from the kitting up of this painting, I'm happy it picked this painting for certain reasons, but I also would have loved for it to pick another painting for certain reasons. Like, there's always a reason to do pretty much any of the paintings in my stash. So yeah, having the decision wheel take some of those decisions away from me, I think is kind of nice. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Should I do one? Should I do both? Should I ignore the fact of my oldest and just let them be picked when they're picked and keep my decision wheels as they are and do a large square painting next? Or should I let my decision wheel decide what painting I do next, and work through my stash a little bit more randomly? Because it is nice to mix the smaller ones in with the larger ones, and some of the oldest ones in my stash actually probably are small round ones, because I don't feel like I did many of them last year. So yeah, let me know your thoughts down below. I will be working on Koala on a Sunday WIP and Waffle for a bit, until he's finished, until Kenny's finished. He will appear on a Sunday WIP and Waffle, and then during the time he's being broken down and my next one is being kitted up, I will work on a Paint Gem Mini in sort of the intervening weeks. Whatever kit I happen to be kitted up with on that one at the time, and we can sort of work on a bit of both together. So yeah, let me know your thoughts, because I love your input as much as anything. At the minute, I think I'm swaying a little bit towards putting them on both decision wheels, just because there is part of me that feels a little bit guilty that the oldest ones in my stash aren't getting done. I don't feel the need to put the newest diamond painting in my stash on my decision wheel, because I kind of feel like that is pushing one to the front, albeit too soon. But if the decision wheel picks a new one, then great. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on what you think, because there are a couple that I can think of in my stash, like my Kookaburra. I've had that one for so long, and it's such a bright and funky one to do. There's probably more as well. Diana, Princess, the People's Princess, from Diamond Art Club. That one's also been in my stash for a long time and still not been done. So yeah, anyway, that's today's question to put to you all. Let's see if we end up with any more from the comments as we go along. I have uncovered 2 sections for today, not necessarily because I'm going to complete the full 2, though actually I might do. I'm going to go by how long I have questions for, considering I've just waffled for 15 minutes of it. But it is working on the background, so there is quite a lot of the same colour, so it may well be that we get this whole section finished, and if I get to diamond paint tonight, I might be able to get to finish the rest of the row. we shall see. Okay. Blossom Chops, she says she finds that she doesn't see her painting properly until she's taken that day's photo. She says, and then looking at the photo makes her realise how good it is. Also, she sometimes doesn't see the missed ones until she spots it in the photo. Yeah, that is a nice way. That's very much how my camera, the camera that I film on, has a little flip screen. So I can confirm that I'm in the right place and you guys can see what I'm doing. It's sort of a little check every now and then. And that screen is the equivalent of me taking a photo of my painting. So it's quite nice to sort of look up and see it come to life a little bit. Yeah, it's like another little element, another little step of diamond painting that we get, that just gives us another little spark of joy, should we say, to put it one way. I Love Strawberries says she still loves this set. So this was when I was working on Paint Gem Retro, the retro set last week. She says she has 8 of them hung up on her wall in a collage frame from IKEA. She attached them using dark washi, and she's working on Myrtle from Diamond Art Club still. She said she started her in December. She's almost done. She says she has finished a couple of other smaller ones in between, but she's not allowing herself to kit up Cosmic Trip until she's done. She said she waited months for it to come back in stock, and it finally did. She said she's still in love with Myrtle's attitude, though. She says thanks for everything. Sometimes you do have to set yourself these boundaries. It's like a level of excitement that you're waiting for. It's like waiting to go on holiday. You know, you may not have a specific date, but you can see the goal getting closer and closer the more you finish a painting. And sometimes it is really good to sort of set yourself those, I'm not doing this until I've done this. And apart from when I have my June Waffle and December events, I very much do that with my breakdowns and kitting ups. So albeit I can't do them, or I don't do them both in one night, because of filming I tend to just do on a weekend primarily, and I'm not fit for it in an evening quite often. But yeah, like I like to have de-kitted a picture before kitting up the next one. The only time, as I say, it goes a little bit awry is December and June, just because of the events being month-long on YouTube. But sometimes if I have time in the background, it will actually be that I will do the breakdown video before I do a kitting up of the next one video. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it when it comes to June event this year. I'm still not sure exactly what painting I'm going to do for June event this year, but I'll get that figured out eventually. April, she says, hello everyone. She says she just broke her almost 2-year no-buy, she said, with a couple of releases from Diamond Art Club. She said Glacial Lake and You Are My Sunshine. There's sometimes paintings will break your no-buy, and if they do, then frankly, you know they're the ones for you. She says she hopes everyone has a great week and will be able to do a lot of diamond painting. Well, that wasn't the case for me last week, but I am hoping that I'll get more done this week. Oh, I did actually get a little bit done since I last filmed, because I filmed a couple of days before launch last week, just due to having my hair appointment, etc. I did finish the section that I started on Walking in the Rain on my last WIP and Waffle. So I finished that row, but I didn't do any more. So it's definitely been since Sunday day, maybe even Saturday evening. I think I finished that section part on the Friday evening, and I haven't diamond painted since. So it has been a full week that I have not diamond painted this week, which is not like me at all. I do normally manage to cram or to get a little bit of diamond painting in. I nearly did a Paint Gem Mini at one point through the week, but then I realised what time it was. And I was like, no, I should just go to bed. I should just stop for the day. But yeah, it's all good. It's all good. I'm trying to finish up these diamonds before I tip in some more. I don't know why, because I'd make it easier for myself if I just tipped in some more, but I'm here now. Grey Legrand, she has replied to April's comment and said that the glacial lake is stunning. She said it reminds her of her visit to Lake Louise in Banff. I think that's how you say it, Banff. There are definitely some paintings that do just speak to you and are ones that you have to have. I try not to go looking, or I'm at least trying this year not to go fully looking for paintings. However, I follow enough companies on social media that things do pop up, and I do get emails from the likes of Diamond Art Club, Dreamer Designs, Diamond Art Studio when new releases come out. So I'm sure I may end up falling off the bandwagon at some point this year. I'm fully expecting to, hence I'm not on a no-buy. I'm just on a be careful is what I'm on. A be careful kind of day. I do like the fact, I will say, on this koala, I do like the fact that the background is not all one shade. I mean, I could use a multiplacer. I could come into this with a multiplacer, and I may use a multiplacer on some of it when I'm diamond painting in an evening. I may give the multiplacer a go. The diamonds are really nice, so I think they will multiplace nice. I just don't like starting off with a multiplacer. I like to start off with my lines or steps and just single placing until I get a bit of a feel for the painting. But I do like the fact that even though, say, this is like 3 different shades of pink in this background, but they are varied. So it's not like I am doing the whole section exactly or one colour, which is fun. But I'm definitely going to be using a lot of this 818, which is probably why I have quite a few. My camera turns off when I was trying to flip this one diamond round the right way. So I've emptied my tray. So now I'm going to allow myself to have another batch. Another batch of diamonds. Tip them all this way. I went to tip it like I was multi-placing then and tip them all down to the bottom. It's because I was talking about multi-placing, even though I'm not actually doing it. I'm favouring the step method at the moment. I like the step method because I can just tuck things in. I am trying to keep half a glance as well to check I've not missed any of the letter F. But I reckon I'll be able to fill in the rest of these, the last couple of colours of these pinks quite quickly once this F is done. Definitely seems to be the main one of the lot. Lady Dax, she says, after having a few days last week of a nasty migraine, why is it that some medical things just sort of completely throw you for a loop? I've had a bit of that this last week as well. Not a migraine. I definitely feel for you with having a migraine, but I've definitely had sort of, I call it more of a medical annoyance than anything that has slowed me down for a few days last week. And yeah, it's just, they just come at the most, they just shouldn't turn up at all, frankly. She says, but she has now had a very productive 24 hours. That is the only benefit to any type of medical annoyance, is when it finally decides to leave you the heck alone. Quite often you get this extra spurt of energy to get caught up on life and back in the right frame of mind. Sometimes it takes a while if you need to recover first, but a productive 24 hours is always a good 24 hours. She says she's finished Oberon from Diamond Art Club last night and she's got him de-kitted. That's some progress. She has kitted up and prepared City Streets in the Snow. Another gorgeous one. She says then she put Oberon on magnetic bars. And now, while watching me, she's working on her Midnight Owl from Kudiels. Time flies, she says, when you're having fun. That is proper fun. Like to have one de-kitted and up on magnetic bars. So in effect, fully framed and ready. And then another one kitted up, prepped and ready to go is an achievement. Because as much as I love kitting down and indeed kitting up, it can take a little bit out of you, or maybe that's just because I chat all the way through doing mine. She says she is right-handed, so she also works from left to right, or she finds it hard to see where she is placing her drills. She says, though, she does work from top to bottom. I don't know. See, there is sometimes that I find I prefer putting the diamonds down. So like now, I'm in effect coming in from the right and putting them down into my diamonds here. But there are some times that I do prefer putting my diamonds up. So sort of pushing them up against the next one. Especially with the Paint Gem Minis, I vary a lot just because they're so small and I'm changing the colours all the time. I do think there are benefits to both. I think I've just got in such a habit of working from the bottom now that I find it very hard to break it. Bev says she put this video on at 4:30. She says, and it is now nearly 7. She says, and it wasn't even one of my mammoth WIP and Waffles. No, it was my Paint Gem one from last week, which was quite short. I was short on time, short on comments, short on everything. It was one of those weeks last week. Short on waffles to do. She says, everybody seemed to want her this evening. So a lot of interruptions. I try in between sort of filming videos when I go and get a brew and stuff. I try to keep sort of not fully settled when I have a drink. So I'll go and make a brew, but I'll sit at the dining table in the conservatory rather than sitting on the couch. just so that I can keep moving. But there are definitely some times when I get caught by something or other going on in the house when I get my broom. And that can definitely delay my sort of productive, right, I'm going to do this video next, I'm going to do this one next. Definitely throws me for a wobbler. But the first video, this just to let you know a little bit sort of behind the scenes. Many of you will already know I try to do my videos on a weekend for the upcoming week. Sometimes it will include the following Saturday's video, sometimes it doesn't. I do 5 videos a week on this channel. Occasionally it's 6, but that tends to be if there's a shop launch. So the shop launch video is more of a bonus video. But I try to do 5 on this channel, and then my other channel, which is some unboxings, they tend to be about once a week at the moment. I've been rather busy. And yeah, I haven't been able to fit in as many companies and videos as I'd like on that channel. But yeah, I tend to try and film the likes of, doesn't always work, but the likes of videos from Coup Deals or videos from my other channel. I like to try and film in a little bit of bulk when the items arrive, so that I can film that channel's videos and then not think about it again, if that makes sense. So it is still on my mind, it is still on my schedule, but I don't have to think each weekend, oh, do I need to do a video for that channel as well as this channel? I like to film them pretty quick after they come in. And then sometimes the comments come up from people commenting on them and I'm like, oh yeah, that went live this week. Because they don't tend to be in my vision list. Once they've been filmed, they get moved on my sort of to-do list as basically being done. Yeah, but I also try and do the same with Fan Sales Friday. Now, due to Chinese New Year and my fan sales getting stuck in UK customs, my fan sales for this month is a little bit out of sync. So anyway, I had to film the one for Friday on Friday because it didn't turn up until Monday or Tuesday of last week. And of course I was busy with launch. So I filmed that, and then all the rest, so the next 3 videos, I tend to order 2 months worth of videos at a time, was all over my desk. So I decided to film those videos before filming this WIP and Waffle. Partly because what was the point in finding somewhere to move it off my desk when I need one for Friday anyway? So, well, I may as well do all 3 of them because they only take 10 to 15 minutes each to film. And the editing that takes longer, editing and links and all that sort of stuff, I can do whenever. You know, I can do that when I'm not in the mood for talking on camera. Anyway, yeah, in that video I unboxed a storage. It was actually going to be a video for the beginning of March, was the idea. It was going to be a fan sales video for March. And yeah, I actually feel like the storage that I unboxed is going to be amazing for my AB diamonds. Because I like to use my AB diamonds with my paint gem. I like to sort of inject some ABs, not all of them, but in some of them. So yeah, just mad one. I ended up filming 3 fan sales videos all together. I've now ended up rearranging it. It's still not going to make full sense, as in timeline sense, on my channel, because my AB video is supposed to be this week. So I'm going to have a look. I may move my AB video to next week to make it make more sense, and then put a different video in this week. But But yeah, that's sort of just a little bit of behind the scenes. My unboxing videos, if I'm going to do any videos in advance or quite a bit in advance, I normally try and squeeze in my unboxing videos in advance, just so that, you know, they're done, the packages can get put away, they're not taking up space in my craft room. I can put things where they need to go, and I don't have to think about those videos, and I can just do my bigger videos. But yeah, today I've managed to sort of potentially muck up my YouTube schedule by deciding to use a storage case for ABs. I think I might still do the video, because I think in the fan sales video I discussed that you could go back and look at the videos to find it. Oh. Anyway, I'm rambling. I don't quite know what my point was, apart from to just let you know that, say, I try to do the videos in order, unless it doesn't as much matter if they're in order. So I can do an unboxing video of products when they turn up, and fit them into a timeline. And as long as my logbook is the right timeline for any paintings that I keep, I think it all makes sense to you guys. But it's very much sort of real time for most of my videos. They are all pretty much done the week that they're going up. Apart from this now, fan sales one, which is not going to be in March, it's going to be on Friday, and I'm going to change the whole way I was planning on sorting out my AB diamonds because of that storage case that I've unboxed. So stay tuned for that. That is a video that's coming up this week. It might be a video I do next in my sort of filming part, because it'd be very nice to get that sort of organised. I'm rather excited for it now. I think it's going to be major pretty. I'm going to have pretty AB diamonds all lined up. Okay, I've just realised I can start to see full letter Fs up here. So I am going to straighten that up to where it was at the bottom, so that I, in effect, don't have that row. We can get moving on to another colour. So yeah, I get distracted too. Beth. She also says she's still got a little boombox. She said she picked it up a few years ago in Aldi at their Father's Day event. She says she's still got all her cassettes, and she listens to them when she's giving her kitchen a deep clean. She says you can take a girl out of the 80s, but you'll never take the 80s out of the girl. I agree. It was a good time. It was a simpler time. Alley Cat says, hi Rebecca. She says she just found me yesterday. So hello and welcome. She says she really enjoyed my WIP and Waffle. She says she has just ordered a blank canvas for a Heaven and Earth design. She says she wasn't thrilled with the canvas from Heaven and Earth Design, so she's ordered one from Francesca's Studio Works. She says the canvas is really nice. She says you have an option of 2 colours for the grid. She said depending on whether your design is primarily dark or light. She says their customer service is great too. Thank you. Always good for some suggestions. I don't know what I may do, and I don't know for sure because I'm a little way off from actually needing to do this yet. But for my mini beautiful light, I might order, depending on price, I might order from a few different sellers on AliExpress, and we can have a little bit of a compare, maybe. Maybe that'll work, and we can see which one we like the best. Okay, letter S. I just realised in my storage case on here, I'd labelled up, of course, my letter S with my number, and then I have a spare bottle with just the number on it, and I put them in opposite places. I was looking for the S. I'm like, where is it? And I'd put it up with my spares. But hey, I found it. Very subtle, different shade of pink for this one. Just a little bit darker, and I think the letter G, maybe it's a little bit lighter. I don't know. You guys will probably be able to tell a difference between the subtle shade difference quicker than I will, because you're looking at it from more of a distance. Nova B, she said dragon cover paper would be awesome, especially if you could do a cutesy one and a more realistic one. Yeah, we have been looking for some dragon cover paper. We are struggling a little bit just to find a design that would work on cover paper, but we do have options coming for you guys who want sort of more unique designs, or you know, not that I think dragons are unique. I think dragons would be popular, and if we find a dragon design that we can use and have the rights to use, then we know that's a request. But we do maybe have some options or an option coming for something that you guys who want to be able to make your own designs can have that option. Just saying, just a little bit. Tony says hello, said they are excited that they were able to place their first order in my shop. Thank you, Tony, or Tony A. Stacey. They can't wait till it gets there. They said, love your vids. Well, I'm sure if it's not with you already, it will be very soon with you, depending on where it's going. But I hope you enjoy your goodies. Yeah, there's been quite a few new customers recently, which is nice to see, that more people get to try our trays, because I could not imagine diamond painting with any other type of tray anymore. It is part of my diamond painting soul. It is needed, and yeah, I can change my pen. I don't think I'd ever want to go back to the pink pens, and I wouldn't ever want to go back to the wax. But I can change my type of pen dependent. I managed to damage this one. I think I may have told you last week. I managed to drop it on the floor. Of course, in my craft room, it didn't hit the rug. It hit the hardwood floor with the metal tip in that end. So I've switched the metal tip to the other end, and this will now just be a single placer. And if I'm multi-placing, I'll change my pen. I've done it to so many pens, and I keep doing it to the pens that I favour more, rather than the pens that, you know, if it happened, while I still wouldn't be happy, I would be happier than it happening to some of my favourites. But it keeps happening to my favourites, so I'm just going to have to deal. Kim says she will be getting her hair done on Tuesday too. She says in addition to the cut, she says she will once again have 2 eyebrows as she will enjoy the special pain of getting them waxed. Yes, mine also got done after my hairdresser's appointment. I had my eye appointment, as I call it. So this time it was just a tint and wax of my eyebrows. But I do, every other time I do also get my eyelashes tinted, because I don't like mascara. I like the look of mascara, but I don't like mascara because 9 times out of 10 if I am wearing mascara, I will rub my eye. 9 times out of 10, if I'm not wearing mascara, I will rub my eyes. So it is something that I do often. But when I'm wearing mascara, it makes a bit more of a mess. So yeah, I ended up having that appointment as well the same day, which is why I filmed early last week. But thank goodness my hair appointments now are set for Wednesday evenings. I've got the next 2 booked in, both for Wednesday evenings, which is much more practical for me. I feel like I haven't lost a whole day. She says she doesn't colour her hair. She doesn't colour her hair as she prefers everyone to know that she is a wise old woman. See, if I didn't colour mine would be quite dark, a very, very dark mousy blonde with grey front, like Cruella de Vil streaks. And yeah, I'm not quite feeling that yet. If there was more grey in my hair, that might be a different matter, but at the moment it just tends to be a couple of stripes in the front of my head, so I get it dyed for now. Carrie says, thank you so much for another great WIP and Waffle. She says she doesn't know what she would do without them. She's still struggling with daily migraines. Is it a season for migraines when it's cold? Because when it's cold, got something to do with it. I know quite a few people seem to be suffering with it. Now, maybe they suffer with it all year. I don't know. I don't tend to suffer from migraines. I get niggly headaches, but I don't get migraines, and I know they're a completely different level. But it makes me wonder if it's just because it's come up in conversation or if it's a seasonal thing. And they're more, I know you can get them any time of year, but are they more likely in colder weather? It's just a little question. So they are, she said her migraines are preventing her from getting any diamond painting done. She's been in the emergency room 3 times in the past 4 weeks for them, and it's getting frustrating. Yes, I can imagine. Niggly pain of any type is frustrating, but when you can't do something that distracts you from the pain, that just makes it worse. You know, you need those distractions, and if you can't do your diamond painting to distract you, it's even more frustrating. She says she's also in a boot for 6 weeks for a foot injury that she's been dealing with for almost 6 months. Oh my goodness me, your 2024 needs to sort itself out. She says, so when it rains, it pours. She says, but with my videos, she says she gets a little piece of diamond painting. She says, even when she is unable to do it herself. Well, thank you so much for joining me for this little section of diamond painting. We'll class this as our diamond painting together, Carrie. She says, sorry for the woe is me. She says, thank you for all that you do. She says she really looks forward to my videos, and they really do help her get through the hard days. Well, I completely understand, and especially if you are getting, you know, I'm not saying if as in if it's true, just especially if I've got it right and that you are getting migraines like a lot of the time that just won't go away and are really painful, then I completely get where your frustration is coming from. So we will class this as our diamond painting, Carrie, and you can do it alongside with me through most of the sections. And I'll think of you when I'm doing my ones through the week. This pink is definitely lighter. The other pink is definitely darker and I can see it from a distance, but this one I can see a little bit more closer up as being lighter. It's a nice subtle sort of difference in the background. I kind of like it. You can see it more in the symbols when there's no diamonds down, but I love the way it looks when the diamonds are down. It's this little hue of something of shading, and I'm sure it'll look stunning when we get to see the whole lot as well. Cross Stitch and Tapped, she says the lines on an Ever Moment canvas, she says, are about as dark as the grey lines on the calendar painting we did with Diamond Art Studio UK. She says instead of dark lines, it has numbers in the squares to help count. Oh, well, that should be fine then, because I don't remember seeing any gaps at all in my calendar painting where the lines shone through. And there was definitely some lighter colours in that one as well. So Ever Moment is definitely on my list. Just because we've had so much of a discussion about it makes me wonder if I should get it from a couple of different places, just to show you all some blank canvases and how they look from different places, in case you're planning on doing a Heaven and Earth design at any point. I think I'm still definitely getting my diamonds though from Ever Moment, because I do like their diamonds, and it's been so long since I've done one of their paintings. Any one of their paintings that I've had in the past, I've completed. I don't have any in my stash. I don't know quite how that worked out. Maybe, I think when I bought more from them, I didn't have as big a stash as I do now. It's definitely got out of control over the last couple of years, to the point that I get them in quicker than I can do them. But hopefully this next year that will slow down a little bit. See how many paintings I can get completed in the next year. Oh, it's so pretty filling these sections up as I go along. I'm really enjoying it. Grey Legrand, she says she looks forward to seeing the stash. That stash video was epic to do. I did really, really like it. I don't know, I've read some of the comments and I know people are just being grateful that I get everything out, which I'm more than happy to do. I just hope it didn't come across that I was moaning in any way, because I agree that it was the best way to show my stash. And it was actually quite nice in the fact that I sort of got to organise under the desk a bit more, with having to pull out every box anyway. Even though I could have organised it without pulling all the canvases out, it was kind of nice to sort of go through it all. And I managed to take out any toolkits or anything like that were in there that I didn't need, and stash those away to pass on to anybody that needs them. So yeah, it got a nice tidy up and a sort out under there. Grey Legrand says boombox. She says she still has hers. It has a double cassette player and a CD player. Ooh, posh you. She says, so if so inclined, she could make a mixtape. I remember I used to have a hi-fi system when I was a teenager, with a double cassette tape and a radio on it. So I used to remember trying to catch the songs on the tape from Radio 1 when the charts were playing. The whole try not to get the presenter talking over the beginning or the end of a song, pausing it at the right time, stopping it from recording so that you didn't end up with that on it. Oh, remember those days. Olivia, she says she's not a fan of a Saturday hair appointment. She says it wastes your weekend. It definitely wastes the Saturday, I think. And I think that's just timing. It's just the timing of it. We very much, I don't know if anybody else is the same, and it will be different for those that maybe have retired. But I very much see weekend days as different to weekdays. So my weekdays are very much structured with a 3:30 time frame. It's like my kids were back in school, even though they're not. But when your kids are in school, you very much structure your day as the kids go off to school and then everything's got to fit in before school pick-up time, whenever that may be. But that's your time frame that you class, I suppose, your day as finishing. The end of your day is school pick-up time. Then, of course, you go do school pick-up time, you come home, then there'd be homework, tea, all the rest of it. That then becomes early evening, or at least it did in my head. That was early evening, from picking the kids up to the whole tea, to the whole bath, to the whole bed when they were younger, all the rest of it. And then you have later evening, which is basically adult time. Your time on your own, the kids are in bed, time you can breathe, do other stuff, whatever it may be. And you'd very much structure your day according to the school run. And that's your Monday to Friday. When it became half term, summer holidays, they turned into weekends. For me, my day is very much structured around about 3:30. In the fact that 3:30 is when I like to make sure that all the orders, the post is all in bags and ready for the postie to collect. My postie collects just after 4. But yeah, 3:30 is my sort of, right, okay, whatever I'm doing, I need to make sure that orders that I've already packed, because I do often pack orders first thing, just because I'd rather have a lot of time than no time to pack them, or a limited time to pack them. And then if there's any orders that I can pack that have come in during the day, that are orders that I'm able to pack and label up for the postie in a prompt amount of time, I will also do those. And I tend to have the post ready for about 3:30. Then I do sort of tidy up in the shop space and make sure I am in the house for around 4, so that when the postie knocks on the door, I can give him the post promptly, because he has lots of post to collect from many places. So my day through the week is very often structured by that 3:30 kind of time. And then, 4 o'clock, between 4 and 4:30 when the postie turns up, and then 4:30 everybody starts coming home from work. So I sort of class 3:30, 4 o'clock as my daytime as such, and then I class the rest as sort of evening. I probably class my early evening as up till about 7. So that is tea, tidy up, maybe there's a few bits extra that I want to get done in the shop, I'll go do them. Maybe there's things that need doing around the house, switching, washing, things like that. That's when that'll get done. And then my later evening is about 7, because that's when Luna gets her tea. So it's sort of a feed the dog and then settle down. And that's when I'll tend to start diamond painting, things like that. It's around 7. But the weekend, those times don't come into the equation at all. The 3:30 is irrelevant. It's sort of, it's basically, it's the whole day. Unless we've got something specific planned, then it's the whole day. So getting my hair done, to me, even though that was at 1:30, it still was a matter of classing that as the whole day gone. because I never get going anywhere near as early on a weekend as I do on any other day. So yeah, does anybody else find they sort of do the same? Maybe even if you're retired, you do the sort of same. Maybe you're talking, you know, your daytime is when it's light outside, and your nighttime is as soon as it starts going dark. Do you have multiple sections in the day? I know when the kids were really young and some of them, or one of them, used to be in nursery, I would often have sort of morning, afternoon, early evening, late evening. You sort of add another little section to the day. But because that religiously happened on, you know, a Monday to Friday, then that's how my day ended up sort of being structured, and things are slotted into those days and those times according to the time frame that you have, the time window that you have for those things to be slotted into. But yeah, it tends to be, my day typically consists of, once I get up, there's a little bit of admin. So I do some admin, responding to emails, messages that may have come in. That sort of replying to YouTube comments, general admin gets done in the morning while the dog's taking her time to wake up, because she does like her morning snuggles, while I'm getting caffeine in my system, which I need to wake up fully. That's my first task of the morning, printing off any orders, etc. Then in the shop, packing any orders. I sort of tend to pack quite often twice a day, but definitely that sort of first thing in the morning, packing orders so that they're ready to have their labels and postage and all the rest of it put on. And then I'll tend to do some sort of stock items, so whether it be refilling stock or whether it be prepping Advent, very much depends on demand. Sometimes I have quite a lot of stock and Advent to prep at the moment, so sometimes I go by mood, sometimes I flip between a few different things. Then I have sort of second batch of orders / any customer emails that need responding to. Get that done, ready for the postie, and then when I come back into the house waiting for the postie tends to be when I place any supplier orders, you know, that have come up during the day. Oh, I need to do this, I need to do that, or placing orders for samples or any of those sorts of things. And then, yeah, and then it tends to be, right, you know, is it house stuff that needs doing? Do I need to go finish something that I started in the shop and get to finish? Up until, say, 6:30 sometimes 7. Feed the dog, sit down. Sit down and diamond paint. Quite often it's diamond paint. Apart from this last week, it's been go back into the shop, but it's all good. So yeah, does anybody else have a structure to their day? Do you enjoy a structure in your day? I definitely prefer a sort of, not a routine as in specific time for this, specific time for that, but more of a routine of you do this set of admin, then that set of admin, then go pack orders, then do that, you know, and the times that they start and finish can vary depending on the volume. But I very much like just following a pattern. I suppose that's more the word, isn't it? I follow a pattern throughout my day. Does anybody else do the same? Little random one at the end of the WIP and Waffle, but we have finished that section and I have got to the end of the questions, so that's all good. And we shall see where I am up to next week. Wherever that may be. But thank you all so much for joining me, and I'll speak to you all again soon.